Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and a doctor has finally weighed in on what we're all witnessing with President Joe Biden. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. So, a doctor appeared on the Greg Kelly show on Newsmax, and just to point it out, he says it in the interview, I'll say it here. He has never examined President Joe Biden. That being said, I personally have spoken to doctors who I'm friends with who work with elderly patients who have said the same thing to me. Some of these doctors, pretty liberal, not exactly Trump fans. But what they're saying to me and what this doctor says here is he looks like he has something with dementia called sundowners. And it means they're good for a few hours in the day, and then at night, things get worse. As time goes on in the day, things get worse. It's an idea that maybe for the next debate, they would probably have him sleep most of the day so that he was awake and aware for the nighttime debate. If I'm Trump, I don't do a second debate. There's no reason. I would let this be the lasting impression people have of President Biden, because I think, Trump right now has got a 6-point lead in the polls, and it's just growing. And there's really no reason for him to do a debate at this point. You're winning. And keep winning. Keep winning. Don't give this guy another bite at the apple. That, I think, would be a tremendous mistake. Unless, by some miraculous thing, his staff didn't figure it out yet and they let him go out and perform the same way again. I don't think that would happen. I think they'd be much smarter this time. No matter what they had to do to get him ready for that debate, I think he'd be ready. But I want you to listen to what this doctor has to say, and I want you to let me know in the comments if you think he's correct.
The time limit on the responses saved Joe Biden there. And then Trump had one of his better moments with that reaction to Biden's rambling, confused, jumbled statement there. Want to welcome in Dr. Frank Contessessa, who's joining us in studio. We had you on a couple times before the debate, Dr. Frank, just to talk about sort of the contrast between what we've seen from Biden in the past, this jacked up Joe Biden that we saw at the State of the Union, and then what we could expect to see last Thursday night. What was your expectation heading into the debate on Thursday versus what we actually saw from Joe Biden?
Well, thank you, Rob, and it's so great to be in studio with you guys today. So, my expectation was that he was probably going to be able to perform well, at least moderately well. And we'd seen that in the past, the State of the Union, and these big moments when he has to kind of rise to the occasion. He's shown that a lot of times he can.
Right.
So I was really kind of taken aback by their performance during the debate. It was really striking. And I think it was more in line with what we've been seeing on a regular basis when he's not in those big moments. For me, I think the difference with this appearance, with this debate, was, number one, the time of day. It was late at night. We often see him during the day, during daylight hours. It was late at night. And the second thing is he was off prompter. He was without notes. He was without prompter, left on his own devices. And I think we see just how much he gets off track when left on his own.
Right.
One thing the White House said, well, he had a cold. So that's why he had one of the reasons why he had a bad night. But I just watching it, and when President Trump would speak, I would see him just stare at President Biden. Just what do you make of that? It's almost like that hollow stare. Is that a sign of anything?
It sure is, Allison. And I noticed the same thing. When Trump was in between, he was on the split screen. He was either looking at the moderator or looking at President Biden, watching what he was saying. President Biden was sort of staring off. He wasn't looking at the moderator, was over here. He was looking off to the left. It is a sign, and you typically see this with dementia patients, and I think it really backs up what we've been talking about for 2 or more years.
Yeah, people make mistakes during a crisis, and the White House is in full-on panic mode right now. And this kind of got missed yesterday, but it was White House aides who, according to Axios, said that Joe Biden is effectively with it from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Dr. Frank, to me, that is a tacit acknowledgement that Joe Biden is dealing with some form of dementia. It's called sundowners, when you're effective from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Do you see that as well? And to me, this was a huge mistake from the White House because they are acknowledging